Hey, everybody, I am live. You couldn't hear me before, so you couldn't hear me. So if you can hear me now, drop a yes down below. If you're excited for what I'm going to talk about or you're intrigued by it, drop a yes down below. And then, hey, everybody, I'm also live on my phone. And then if you're here and you're watching, smash the heart, smash the Care Bear. That basically tells Facebook that this content is relevant and that you like it. If you don't do that, then Facebook doesn't see it as a meaningful engagement, so they don't show it to people. So do me a favor and smash the heart, smash the likes if you are excited about what I'm going to talk about. So what I'm going to talk about today is why posting helpful content is the worst strategy to get clients organically, and ultimately what you can do instead. So I put this out in a couple places, and it ends up being a pretty polarizing statement because a lot of people are doing this. And when you challenge somebody's current paradigm, when you challenge what people are doing, they tend to react with distrust, which is perfectly okay and perfectly founded, because you shouldn't trust something that challenges the paradigm that you're consistently focusing on. And when something challenges your paradigm, if you can challenge it back and they can actually provide you with feedback and ultimately help you, it builds a stronger bond. And so that's kind of what I'm going to dive into. If you need help building a system to where you can generate clients organically without sleazy sales tactics and all this stuff out there that the gurus are promoting, just drop a help down below and I'll see if I can help you. But the big, there it goes again. The big thing that I wanted to kind of go through is helpful content. So let's define that first. Helpful content should be defined as content that is basically trying to solve someone's problem where you're not in a position to necessarily solve it yet. So if you're a health coach, say, for example, you put out a post that says, here's 5 tips to get more greens in your day. Here's 5 tips to eliminate low back pain. Here's 3 tips to cut carbs in your diet, stuff like that. Here's stuff like that. And so what happens with that kind of content is people will see it. They'll usually ignore it, not do anything, or they'll see it, they'll try it, it'll work for maybe a day or two, and then they'll just quit and fall off the face of the earth. So as coaches, before we have the opportunity to coach someone, if you're giving them tips and hints and helping them with this kind of stuff, we're just perpetuating the cycle, and we're speaking to everybody. We're speaking to a broad market of anybody who will listen. So like five tips women can use to eat more salad, 5 tips men can use to eliminate low back pain is kind of just, it's super broad. It's not diving into anything that's really going on in these people's heads. It's not solving any real problems. And so I often say when we are trying to build very high level offers, we have to be able to solve real problems, and our content should solve these real problems for people. So when we look at content that we should be putting out and content that does work is content that's more polarizing, content that challenges somebody's frame of mind, the reference point that they see the world in, their model of the world, even their current identity and what they're following. Good content creates a rift in people's mind. And it's not because it's manipulative or anything like that. It's because good content gets them to think. Good content might get them to say, no way. Or good content might get them to say, wait, what do you mean? And good content will get them engaged in the conversation with you. And so when we put out stuff like this, the biggest and most important thing that we want to identify here is your specific client avatar and your specific client that you work with, because your specific client is going to have very specific problems. And when we look at these specific problems, it's not how to eat more salad in a day. It's not how to cut carbs. It's not how to count your macros. It's, I want to look better. I want to look okay when I see myself in the mirror. I want to look happy when I'm in front of my husband. I want to be able to go out in public and not be embarrassed anymore. Those are the things that we can talk about. Those are the things that everybody's afraid to talk about. But those are the real reasons that people want to lose weight. Nobody just wants to lose weight. It's not about losing 20 pounds. It's about repairing your emotional relationship with food. It's about moving to an environment where you feel comfortable in a bathing suit again. It's about being okay with who you are. It's about removing the symptoms of anxiety and depression associated with being on the diet train for your entire life. Those are the things we need to talk about. And so your content should be centered and referenced around the real reason why diets are sabotaging your progress. And you talk about how diets are killing people. Diets put people on this road of up and down, and diets get you addicted to the hope that the next one will work. That's what's going to change people's frame of reference in their mind. It's also going to polarize you. It's going to put you in a place to where you're not in the sea of content, the commodity market of content out there. If I Google 5 tips to eat more leafy greens, I'm going to get 17 million articles. If I start Googling how to repair my emotional relationship with food, if I start Googling all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to get as many hits because it's not as prevalent. People aren't talking about it as much. And so what you're doing here is you're separating yourself. You're separating yourself from what everybody else is doing, putting out helpful content with tips and tricks and strategies, and moving yourself into a position of leadership. People want to follow someone who will speak for them. People want to follow someone who they can align with. People want to follow someone who can help them understand their own beliefs, who can help them understand why something isn't working, who can challenge why something isn't working and discuss why and how it's happening. That's what people want. People don't want to work with the person who's going to tell them how to eat leafy greens more often. Like, nobody wants to eat more leafy greens throughout the day. Everybody just wants to lose weight so they can solve a specific problem that's happening in their lives, whether it be public embarrassment, whether it be they don't feel good in front of their significant other, whether it be they have depression because they hate the way they look and what they see in the mirror, and they've had this 27-year-long struggle. These are the real reasons that people want to create change. And these are the ways you can create meaningful connection with people when you're putting out content, when you're putting out information, when we challenge everything that people struggle with, when we talk about what people are struggling with, when we're not afraid to bring that stuff up, because everybody else is afraid to bring it up. Everybody else is afraid and tiptoes around these very delicate subjects that people struggle with and think about every day. And the problem is we're all inside our own heads worrying about what someone else will say, that we just kind of default to doing whatever the norm is. And for coaches and searching for prospects and putting out content, it's just helpful stuff. It's 5 tips to do this, 3 strategies to do that. And well, there is a place to do this at a different level of the journey. At the base level of the client journey, they need to, number 1, see that you're somebody that they could associate with. Number 2, see that you're someone that they can align with. Number 3, see that you're someone who can understand what's going on. Number 4, they need to actually believe that you know what's happening before they even know what's going on. You know you're putting out really, really good stuff when people start saying, it's like you're inside my head. It's like you're talking about everything I'm struggling with. That's when you've got impactful content. And so impactful content, it doesn't help them immediately in terms of how to eat leafy greens or how to lose weight, because that kind of stuff is going to get initial results, possibly if they even do it, and then they're going to fall off track and it's never going to work. What you're doing is you're creating a rift inside their mind. You're creating a different way of thinking. You're opening up a different paradigm of the world, and that paradigm of the world keeps you inside of it. So what happens is they start to see things differently. They start to question what they're currently doing. They start to look at things in a different dynamic, and that puts them in a place where they see you as the person who is in the position of leadership, who is able to move them away from what they're doing to where they're at now, and they begin to believe it. You're planting the seed to tell them that there's another way. You're planting the seed to tell them that you understand, that you get it, that you've been there. And that's what aligns you with these people. It's not how to eat 5 tips on how to eat salad, 5 tips on how to lose weight, all that stuff. It's deeper. That's what real content does. And that's what real copywriting is. It's being able to write in a way to where you understand the frame of reference from your prospects from such a deep enough level. You not only polarize yourself, but you put yourself in an extreme position of leadership, and you align with these people's thoughts and beliefs, and you allow them to shift the way they think so they can open up their mind to new possibilities. And then when they're looking for the solution, you become the only option available. You become the only one that they think about. You're not just another commodity-driven market where you're putting out content that everybody else does, where they can Google and search for it on YouTube. You're putting out things that they haven't thought about. You're putting out things that they haven't even looked into. You're putting out things that challenges their very dynamic of the world that they see and their model of the world, and even their identity to some extent. So let me know if this makes sense. Drop a makes sense down below if this makes sense to you. And if you like what I had to say, drop a hell yeah down below. And then if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if you need help building a content strategy that creates compassion in the hearts and minds of your prospects and aligns their belief system with your beliefs and creates leadership so they look to you to solve their problems, then drop a help down below. And I'll talk to you about our Compassion Conversations program and how we create this stuff every day. So that's all I have to say. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I'll get in here and I will interact with you, and I'll answer some questions. Even if I'm off the live, I'll answer them in the comments below. So that's all I have to say. Hopefully this was helpful. If you liked it, give it a share. I will see you all later.